Hi there, Pisces. Welcome to your May 2017 love reading. It's Rena here. And so before I begin, I just wanted to talk about Venus, because Venus has gone direct since mid-April, and Venus is going to be in Aries all month long. So this is your second house of earned income. So this can be very good for money. Romance, it's going to be very fiery with Aries. It can be very enlivening. It's just that you don't want to get burned from those flames. Let's put it that way. So let's see what the cards will talk about. Okay. All right. Let me just look at this for 1 second. Well, the theme in May, and by the way, I just want to tell you that I'm going to be trying to be mindful of people who are not currently in relationships, because I do have a tendency to focus on them. And I suppose the reason is because a lot of people are dealing with the aftermath of a bad relationship or are currently in a challenging relationship. And in either case, that's just what is happening for them. And so sometimes I think, well, if you're just looking for a relationship, what's the, what do you need a reading on? But obviously people are looking for signs that they're going to meet somebody, I suppose. This type of reading is, because it's geared for everybody born under one sign, is just too broad to really touch necessarily you. However, sometimes people have reported that it really matched what was happening in their lives, and I have experienced it watching other readers. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below, because I actually use your natal chart, and that is unique to you. So it's a whole different animal, let me put it that way, for the love readings with the natal chart. But anyway, the overall theme of this month is the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups, Pisces, first of all, cups connect with your element of water. So you could be looking at somebody of water element, if you have somebody like that in your life, so maybe another Pisces or a Cancer or a Scorpio person. But in general, this is a card of making a commitment to somebody. This isn't a card of falling in love. This is a card of committing to your love. This can be a card of maybe getting closer to somebody in terms of, when I say making a commitment, I don't mean you have to get married, but maybe you are becoming monogamous with that person rather than just dating around. The other possibility is that you reunite with somebody, and we have had this Venus retrograde, so there's been a lot of people have said that they have heard from people from their past, and these dramas play out, and sometimes you reunite with somebody from your past. That would have already happened. Well, I suppose it could happen at some point during May for some of you. But it could be also a sense of forgiveness for some relationship that really, maybe you have healing about somebody who really hurt you, and you're kind of holding on to that hurt. In the past position, this might have been that person. This is the Knight of Wands. This is a person who is, I always use the term good time Charlie, which sounds so old-fashioned. But somebody who is a womanizer. Yes, I know I'm being gender specific, and I apologize for that. I don't know what the female equivalent of that is. Probably a man-eater. But you know, the thing about it is, this is a very masculine kind of thing. It's a double masculine, so I do think of a man. This is actually, it's weird, this is connected to Sagittarius specifically, but I connect it to Aries. So any of the fire signs, Leo is another fire sign, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be somebody who's a player, and you may have gotten mixed up with one of those and you thought it was love, and on their part it was just another notch on their belt. And you know, because the Two of Cups could relate to reuniting with someone, it could be that you had a fling and you lost your mind. Maybe you were married and now you've reunited with your spouse or your committed partner, because you kind of went off on this tangent with another person, and it was a lust kind of a thing. And now you lost your head for a minute, and now you are back with someone else that was a committed partner, because you realized what you gave up. What else could it be? What else could be going on here? Well, this is, you know, this card is also present at this time. The Empress card. So this connects to Taurus. It can connect to Libra, but it can be that earthy, Earth Mother energy. Could point to motherhood. So it could be that you have, you're pregnant, which, you know, who is the daddy? Is it the player's kid, or is it your husband's kid? That would be pretty tawdry. No, but actually, this card is a card of sensuality and creativity, but it does connect to fertility. So it could be just as simple that maybe you were sowing some wild oats, and that could be either gender, and you've made a commitment to somebody, and now, you know, maybe you got engaged or married and now you're pregnant. I mean, it doesn't have to be something, you know, that is controversial. It could just be that you are following that trajectory. But it definitely is this kind of maternal feeling to it. So what else could be? Well, you know what it could be? It could be just exploring the sensual side of life with a committed partner. I think that would be the best way of putting it. And so the contrast would be that maybe you were having some kind of an affair, but the affair didn't lead to anything, and now you're with somebody that it's more of a committed relationship. And so the difference is a good thing. Now, the higher perspective is the Five of Pentacles. What I think this is warning against, Pisces, is that shadow aspect of Pisces which tends towards pessimism. This is a card associated with Mercury and Taurus, a card of rigid thinking, and it goes along with the ideas of lack consciousness, because the number 5 is sometimes linked to change or instability. I think it's associated with Mercury, so there's that mercurial or changeable aspect. And with Pentacles, it's the earth element, and there again with that, you know, the Empress connects to Taurus, so that might be something. And I said Mercury and Taurus. So I don't know if there's a Taurus person, but it might be a relationship that's not really good for whatever reason. But if this is a facet of your thinking patterns, what it could be suggesting is that you need to alter that, because it is going to create within you this sense of lack that should not be there. Because when people see the glass half empty, law of attraction will make it happen to you in the universe. Well, it will show up for you that way. And, I'm one of those people, I'm not a fundamentalist anything, so I wouldn't say that I believe that if you ever have any kind of fear of lack of money, let's say, that it means that you're destined to not have money. I don't like to be literal about things, but on the other hand, a lot of times that kind of thinking happens when you're being very unconscious with your thoughts, like you're not aware of them on a regular basis. So your mind takes itself into that place. Basically, what I'm trying to say with this card is watch out if you have a new relationship or a committed relationship. Watch out for the tendency, because it's right under that Two of Cups, that you do not allow yourself to go into feelings of unworthiness. And it's very interesting. I just want to say something about that, because the second house of earned income, what did I say? I said Venus is going to be there. And one thing I didn't mention is that Venus, connects to both love and money. But the second house is not just earned income, it's also your self-worth. So what I want you to do, Pisces, is I want you to think about whether or not you value yourself enough on a regular basis. If sometimes you talk down to yourself or about yourself to other people, and if you allow other people to do the same to you. Because the Five of Pentacles is really about value. Anytime you have pentacles, it's a tangible thing, but it can just symbolically relate to value. And so with Venus in that second house, practice self-love. And that includes how you value yourself and what your expectations are about how other people treat you. Because that may be the key to a lot of what has been going on in your life that you're not really thrilled about, if you have had a pattern of relationships that have not worked out. And even just thinking that there is not enough to go around in terms of relationships, thinking that you have to just accept that kind of treatment because you're 50 years old, or you are not that attractive, or whatever the crazy things that we tell ourselves. I really believe that when you stand firm in your love of self, that only good things can come to you, honestly. Okay. The card that crosses you is the Tower, so I'll read that in the upright position. Now, this doesn't have to be something that is going to happen, but it could be something that has happened. You may have had a traumatic event in your life. I often think that people that are Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising signs, that they have experienced their fair share of pain, suffering in life. That doesn't mean that they're unhappy people, though. It just means that they're old souls, and old souls tend to experience a lot. I read one time that young souls, sometimes they need a lot of people around them. In this lifetime, in this incarnation, they may have a lot of people in their life, but it's because they need that support system, because they are young souls and they're easily discouraged. So if you're a Pisces, you probably are an old soul. You're the last sign of the zodiac, and so it tends to bring out more of the challenges sometimes. But you can handle them, as long as you are not buying into the suffering and you're not identifying with it and using that as, the way to identify yourself is through your suffering. But the Tower card can point to something in your life which was a turning point that either really made you aware of the fragility of life, because something that happens suddenly, you know, an obvious example would be a sudden death of somebody, maybe unpredicted, like a parent dies and there was no indication that that was going to happen, or maybe you knew that they were sick, but it was a very sudden thing and then they died. But, you know, it could be an accident, it could be, you know, something violent, you know, anything that was not predicted, or quick illness. But the other possibility is finding out a shocking secret, or, you know, having something. You did have a full moon in your opposite sign of Virgo on March, when was that? March, was it 12th? Something along those lines, I think. Either 10th or 12th. And that may have been a time when a long-term relationship came apart. And it could be that you're still reeling from that. If that's the case, then the Two of Cups as the overall theme may be that you're trying to get back together with that person, because it has been so recently, you know. I doubt you're getting engaged to somebody new. That would be kind of crazy, so quickly after splitting up with a partner. But there are all kinds of permutations, let me put it that way. But that may be impeding your ability to move on in your life. So that's just kind of letting you know that. It also can be that there may be something that comes up that was unexpected in May that threatens, if you allow it to throw it off your game. It could, but if you know about it in advance, then you will realize when it happens, this is just kind of like a test, or this is just something that I have to not allow to get to me. Jeez, what is with this? There's all kinds of environmental noise. I apologize for that. So, yeah. The advice is the Two of Wands, and this could also be what is coming in. This is a card of, you see the person has the world in their hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. This is a card, and I just picked the Three of Wands for Aries reading, and I always think that these are similar in their scope. This is more of a decision than the Three of Wands is more of an expansion of whatever the person wants. But this is more of a decision. You may be deciding, should I stay where I am right now? Should I leave, go somewhere else? And, you know, it's interesting how the person, somebody pointed out once, I think it was another reader, that somebody else is holding on to one of those wands. And I can't remember what they were trying to say about that. I guess you could say that there is some decision that you and another person have to make. And sometimes I think of, like, should we stay together? And that, with that two, you know, that Two of Cups, that could also be a decision. You know, I should have said that. Whenever there's a two, there could be a decision that has to be made. Now, it could be on your side. It might not be that you're the one that is the innocent victim. It could be that you're the one that strayed from a relationship, and that you kind of lost your head for a moment. And maybe you are torn. Maybe you love your spouse, but you are bored in the relationship. I think, though, that with the Five of Pentacles, I think that some of you, it's more of a case of you're the one that is experiencing this. What I would say with the Two of Wands is, don't put yourself in the position of being the one who another person is choosing what to do about. You know, in other words, you can take control over your life by making the decision yourself. So I always wonder, like, when someone is in a relationship and they find out that their partner has cheated, and they are torn up about it, but the other person is like confused and is like, I don't know what to do, that some people just sit there and wait to see what their partner is going to do. You always have the option of taking the initiative and making the decision yourself. That may be more of a self-esteem boost that way, where you feel more in control of things than waiting around, because you know you do have to consider whether or not the relationship is worthwhile to begin with, if somebody can do that. And the Two of Wands can also point to actual physical relocation, and you may even decide to do that because you want to get a fresh start. I will say too, for people who are single, you may decide to leave, or you may, if you did leave, you never know, that might be the key to finding the person. Maybe in the new city is the place where you were meant to find the person that you're meant to be with. And the outcome is the Seven of Pentacles. So you see, I did pick a couple of Pentacles, and then I also got the Empress. This could, you know, be a Taurus person then. See, I'm getting multiple Pentacles with that Empress card. Whether that is a new relationship or not, I'm not sure, because this is a card of assessment to find out if something is really worthwhile to pursue. There may be, you may have doubts about the situation for some reason, as evidenced by the Five of Pentacles. And if you are pregnant, or if you're, you know, thinking about getting pregnant, the Seven of Pentacles would be saying, see how the relationship goes. Now, so for instance, let's say you have gotten back together with a former love, and, you know, now maybe it's somebody you dated, maybe you were together quite a while, and you hit a rough patch and you separated, or you just broke up and now you're back together for whatever reason. You may be just all systems are go, I want to get pregnant, I want to, you know, do all these things. And the Seven of Pentacles would be like, wait and see. See if the relationship has what it takes. It's right underneath the Empress card. So, it's funny because there are a lot of things going on here, even though, you know, there's some promising things, but it seems like, you know, with that Two of Cups, it's surrounding a minefield in a way. And so what I would say about that is to make sure that you proceed in a manner that is methodical, that you don't just think that you can do anything and they'll just, who cares, it'll work out, or I won't think about it too much. You might want to think about it, especially if it's something that has a permanent effect, like bringing a child into the world, or getting married. If you've just reunited with that person and you're thinking, you know what, I want to get married. And sometimes people want to get married right away because they want to lock in that person, and that's, to me, very foolish to do that, to think that if you know, commit to somebody, or to get, you know, to make it legal, that is going to necessarily prevent that person from cheating. Don't do things with a fear-based mentality like the Five of Pentacles talks about, because you could end up really complicating your life and, you know, being hamstrung if you ended up with a relationship with somebody who is misrepresenting themselves, or you find out you are not compatible, especially if you broke up before. There was a reason you broke up, and sometimes people, they're just so happy to be back together that they forget about everything that's come before that, and that's pretty foolish in my book. So anyway, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, as I said before, click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great May. Bye.